Greetings, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to this latest edition of Tales from Outer Space. Hope you enjoy. Story number 1, The Class of Titans, written by Graveyard Operations. There were 30 of us to start, and now there was only 10. I was brought here by them when I was young. They stripped me from the arms of my mother and put me to work. I didn't even get to say goodbye to my siblings or my parents before they dragged me here. I still remember my mother's cries as they put me in some dark place and took me somewhere I couldn't see. I wish I could say that I was dignified in my abduction, but I was so terrified. I could only shake in terror in the corner of the dark box I was in. Where was I going? Who were these people? Why was I chosen and none of my siblings? All these questions ran through my head. I had to be brave, though. The things that put me in this box, that took me away from my family, they were titans of creatures. They were giants. They loomed over my mother, my siblings, and myself. My mother called them the Masters. They would not be the Masters for me. I promised myself, shaking in that moment, that I would endure everything these monsters threw at me and make it back to my family. They threw a lot at me. When it came time for me to be pulled from the dark, these titans lifted me out of the dark, holding me in their arms as if I was nothing but their toy. I shouted and screamed, but their haunting voices merely bellowed into my ears. They were so loud, and the stank of others like me. I would soon find out why. I was brought into a building, and the 30 others like me all had their own individual titans. These titans either held them or restrained them by rope around their necks. What sort of monsters were these things? All of the titans lined up with us. Those of us that tried to run would find themselves grabbed or dragged back by the ropes around their necks. I knew better than to resist. At least for now. It was strange being in the titans' arms as they listened to another titan speak. This titan combed their fingers against me. It reminded me of the baths my mother would give me, and in my youth I felt myself drifting to sleep. Despite all my fear and anger, this brief moment of relief was enough to drift off into sleep. I woke up to what they had planned soon enough. The others, including myself, were lined up next. Now Titans stood back observing us, watching us, making sure we didn't move. We were told by their bellowing voices to stay put, to sit down, and just wait. I didn't flinch, but a few others tried to move on, only to be hoisted up and placed back amongst us. The main titan, the one the others listened to, crouched down and looked upon us. Sit! It was so loud, I couldn't understand what it was saying. Another of us would try to leave, but only to be brought back again. Sit! It wanted us to sit. In that strange tongue, I knew what it meant. I closed my eyes and stayed still, waiting, just wanting this mockery to be done. When it was done, I smelled something. My eyes opened and the titan before us offered food. I was stunned, but did not complain. I took the food into my mouth. The titan's new taste. This was by far the most delicious, incredible thing that I had ever tasted. It melted in my mouth, and with every bite, I just wanted more. More. I needed to have more of that. My fearful demeanor gave way to joy, and the titans saw that, and they began to brush their long, alien digits against me again. I had no idea why, but their touch, it was like my own mother's touch. That's when I knew these titans wanted to educate us. This was a school, and those that succeeded would be rewarded for excellence. I wasn't abducted. I was chosen. I would not fail these titans, because if their touch felt this comforting, if their food tasted so good, then why was I afraid? I was not afraid any longer. Their education was ruthless, but I did everything. It was orderly and tidy. We went to the bathroom in one location, ate in another. It was always scheduled. They allowed me and my fellows to sleep together, at least, and that was a welcome relief. Not many of us understood that they were trying to help us, that they were not monsters. 2 of my comrades tried to attack them, and they quickly were removed. Where they went, I do not know. If they were thus beautiful as masters, I shudder to think how terrible their punishment, if scorned, would be. Sit, stay, leave it, drop it, roll over, shake. Every time I understood and performed their command, I would be given more of their divine favor and food. Every time I obeyed, I received more and more gifts. Their instruction was rigid but simple. I did what they asked and I was rewarded. The smart amongst us followed suit quickly. The less than, they were removed. As months went by, our instructions became more obscure, more detailed. The Titans would wrap cloth around their heads and instruct me to lead them. And I had no idea where I was going. Their orders had been so simple before. I failed in my tasks frequently until I learned how the game was played. The goal was to keep myself and them from being touched. I had to avoid the obstacles. I had to make sure nothing touched the Titan. When I finally realized what they were training me for, I whirled with pride. I was being taught to be their guardian. They were entrusting their lives to me. These towering gods were trusting me with their safety. I would not fail them. Every obstacle course, every chain I was tied to, every hard-won success was rewarded with delicacies and delicious food, with comfortable beds and beautiful trinkets. They showered me with affection, and as I continued to learn how to guard them, how to keep them safe, I had to wonder, why? Why do they choose me and not any of my siblings? Sure, I was the largest of my siblings, so maybe that had something to do with it. Whatever the case, it was better not to dwell on it. I had more education. 8 months. I had grown a great deal, and my mother had missed my birthday. Yet I did not shake as I did when I was young. I did not cry or scream for them to return me to their side. Instead, I sat by it, no longer needing that rope around my neck, or their arms securing me against them. I sat willingly, and I kept alert for any danger. That's when I saw her come in. That's when I saw the Titan with no eyes appear. I was instructed to go to her side, and I did. Of all the Titans I had smelled, of every touch from their smoothing hands, hers was the best. She did not look at me. I don't think she could see. But she knew my name and cooed softly, unlike the loud ones of the other Titans. I sat next to her and buried my face against her as she ran her fingers through my hair. She and the main Titan of the facility talked as we ran her fingers through my hair. They talked for what seemed like hours, until I heard her speak to me once again. "Hi, Barley," she spoke soothingly, my joy absolutely evident, I think. "Do you want to come home with me?" Of course I did. From her very first touch, I knew that she was the Titan I needed to protect. Who's the good boy? Me! I am the good boy. End of story. Story number 2. Subject, Earth 3352, written by Lemire. Subject, Earth 3352, name Marcus Belmont, species, human, threat level, extreme, current location, unknown, description. Subject is an adult male standing around 2 meters in height, with a thin but muscular build with a pale complexion. Subject has 4 appendages extruding from a central torso. 2 appendages that are mainly used for bipedal movement, while the other 2 can be used for manipulation and movement if the need arises. Subject exhibits a singular head with 2 optical devices, 2 audio devices, a cardiovascular device, and a digestive device that doubles as its vocal exhibitor, which it likes to use extensively when interacted with. There is a stark lack of fur, except for the short dark mane sitting atop the subject's head. Subject lets off a pleasant aroma when in the presence of female staff members. Should be noted as possible signal for wishing to mate. Bio. Marcus Belmont is the most recent addition, the lab's recent exploratory venture onto the planet now being dubbed after the interactions with the subject. Marcus was recovered in an area around the human country of Wallachia after a brief altercation with the exploratory team. Researchers should note that Marcus displays an extreme intelligence level compared to other known sentient species on Earth, and has shown a remarkable aptitude in deduction. When presented with a few of our devices, Marcus was able to quickly understand their function and successfully applied the devices with their intended nature. Marcus also has very quickly deciphered portions of our language and can now communicate crudely with staff. However, many female staff members have noted an increase in communication attempts even when not interacting directly with Marcus. Notes: as of 9.5.2253, Marcus has escaped containment and is believed to be aboard the ship in hiding. Threat level has been raised to extreme due to the level of intelligence displayed in earlier testing. Ship's log 9.5.2253. Marcus has escaped containment with possible aid of female research staffers. Level 5 lockdown now in effect. 9.7.2253. Sighting of Marcus has placed the subject near the after of the vessel close to engineering. All security teams set to permanent watch status. Subject may be attempting to sabotage the vessel. 9.15.2253. Newest sighting of Marcus places subject closer to medical bays. Possible theft of medical supplies attributed to subject. Exploratory Fleet Command has been notified. Request of search species requested. 9.20.2253. Security teams encountered Marcus inside Armory. Subject escaped capture after overpowering 3 team members and stealing multiple weapon systems and explosive devices. Search species have arrived. Subject motive still believed to be sabotaged our vessel. 9.22.2253. Explosions detected in containment units. Multiple species have escaped containment and have been seen alongside Marcus escaping into ventilation ducts. Motive now updated to mutiny as multiple servant species members have gone missing. Search species have narrowed down the location of subject to aft area near cargo bays 10 and 12. 9.28.2253. Subject and escaped species located alongside servant species in cargo bay 11. Video surveillance was discovered to be tampered with to show a loop of old bay activity. Security teams have established perimeter to contain threat. Multiple reports of disobedience from other servant species have been reported. Risk of mutiny now extreme. 9.30.2253. All contact lost with security teams in cargo bay 11 and video links cut in aft section. Mutiny has been declared in progress. All attempts to contact Exploratory Fleet Command have been unsuccessful. Increasing reports of disobedience reported from servant species. 10.1.2253. All power to the main ship systems have been disrupted. Life support and door functions remain online. All security teams have been reported missing. Last remaining crew being gathered at to command unit for evacuation. Vessel has been declared lost and unrecoverable. 10.2.2253. New command code authorized Belmont Alpha 2253 Epsilon. End of story. I'd quickly like to thank the T5 channel members and patrons. Caspar Arnholtz, Cam Maxwell, Lord Azrakal, Dragzoon WRE, Holly Sister, Ambrose Cattell, and Quantum Wednesday. Thank you very much.